All right, Rob, last night, it was a big night for college football. You had, of course, the Final Four, the two semifinal games to determine who will meet next week in the national championship game. And, of course, Michigan prevailed 27-20 in a really good game. Literally went down to the last play. And they beat Alabama 27-20. Michigan, of course, number one team in the nation. Alabama was number 4. And now Michigan will play Washington, which beat Texas in the championship game next Monday. And Rob, Jim Harbaugh, what a crazy year. Starts off the year suspended for the first 3 games. Ends the year suspended for the last 3 games of the regular season, and now has Michigan, Rob, essentially as far as it's ever been. The one national championship they've won in 1997, they actually were co-champions. So theoretically, they're kind of co-champions now. They're not champions, but you know what I mean. They're down to the last 2 teams. But you don't think this is enough. So what are your thoughts on Harbaugh?
I just think I have no idea why people don't think he should have to finish the job, like win the championship. It's there for the taking. They've had the best team. They're undefeated, Chris. They win with them. They win without him.
Yep.
They've won 6 games without him. Why in the world?
In big games.
Why in the world should people act like he doesn't have to win? Why shouldn't he? He's never won the championship. What this should be?
When you say I think the question is, what do you mean by have to win?
Yeah, like he should finish the job. If they don't, to me, it would be like he came to Michigan, he got them back relevant, but he didn't finish the job. He didn't do what Bo Schembechler never was able to do. He's never been able to, he took the 49ers to 3 NFC championship games. They got to the Super Bowl once. He lost to his brother, fine. It's not like he went 8 times. Here's a chance to really put a stamp on your legacy at Michigan. This is what they brought the native son back for, Chris. He played quarterback there. He played for Bo Schembechler. He's regarded as a coach who could get things turned around at different programs. But what hasn't he done? I don't know why people don't feel compelled to say, yes, he needs to win this, and just getting there isn't good enough. It shouldn't be good enough for Michigan fans. It shouldn't be good enough for Jim Harbaugh. Why can't people put the pressure on him and say, yes, he needs to win this championship to really solidify his legacy at Michigan? I know they got a statue of Bo Schembechler, who never won a national championship. Things were different then, Chris, from the standpoint of the Big Ten was about them beating Ohio State, and that's all they really cared about, and it was a mythical national championship. There was no championship game, so people could overlook that. They brought Jim Harbaugh back, and back to Michigan, to get in. They were never, Chris, before the last 3 years, never even got into the college football playoff. Even Michigan State got there before them. So I'm trying to say, why shouldn't people want him to win and put the pressure that Michigan needs to finish the job? Jim Harbaugh needs to finish the job. And then, if he's ready to hightail it out of college, tired of the investigations, Chris, tired of all the other stuff that goes along with being a college coach, and he wants to walk away and go back to the pros, man, go out on top. Here's your moment. To me, if he loses and they don't win the national championship, I can't sit here and say that he completed the job at Michigan just by making them relevant. He will have failed Michigan in the biggest moment that was set up for him and set up for that school.
Yeah, look, I think, I don't know if we're talking semantics. Obviously, you want to win. Like, if I'm a Michigan fan, I feel like, let's go get this championship. Let's win this thing. And I'm highly disappointed if we don't. Where I disagree with you on is that, like, he has to win it, or let's put the pressure on him to win it. I don't think the job was to come there and win the national championship with Michigan. I think that was the dream. When they hired him, it was, of course, We would love to win some national championships. But I think the job was to get Michigan back to being one of the top 5 or 10 programs in the country. Because that's all they ever were. Like, I could see if he was going to, let's say in 20 years from now, Alabama hadn't won a championship in 20 years. And then you brought in a quote-unquote Jim Harbaugh. The job would be to win the national championship because that's what Alabama was used to doing under Nick Saban. But Michigan wasn't in that class. Michigan, and you know, Rob, when you and I grew up, you mentioned Bo Schembechler. They were a top program in the country. Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State. Those were 3 of the Notre Dame, USC, Alabama. Then they fell off. Nebraska was hot. Oklahoma. Like those were, Miami started coming on. You know, those are some of the top programs. The goal to me, the charge to me, was to get Michigan back on that level. And he's obviously done that. They've been to 3 straight college football championships. If he went, and you mentioned it, Bo Schembechler is the most decorated coach in school history, never won a championship. So how can I say Harbaugh hasn't done the job when he's, you know, because he didn't win a championship?
Because that's what I'm saying is the people at Michigan have dummied down their program that they don't expect to win. Yeah,
what? They never been at the top.
No, but that's why they don't expect to win.
You can't dumb it down and they don't been up there. I can only go down if I'm at the top.
He was paid as a top 4 coach. Everybody in that list has a national championship except Jim Harbaugh. So what I'm trying to say is, why is he held to a different standard?
I don't think he's held to a different standard than the Michigan
the people
coaches.
at Michigan.
Schembechler was probably among the highest paid too, is my guess.
But I'm not. I don't know in those days. In those days,
who was making more than him? I'm sure. He was making whatever they made at that point. What Woody Hayes made.
It wasn't what it is now.
Of course, but relative, Rob. Of course, he wasn't making the money nobody was. But relative to the college football coaches of that day, I'm sure Schembechler was making. He was right up there near the top.
I just think that the people of Michigan, when I say dumb down the program, they don't expect to win. Because of what you just talked about. But I'm saying they have this coach.
Why are you saying they don't expect to win?
Because I talk to a lot of people who live there, and they're like, and I say to them, do you have to? Oh well, they got them back to being relevant, and I'm like, that's all you're good with? Yeah, as long as they're relevant. Okay,
that's what they've been.
But that's why I say I don't know of anybody who's fans of a team that wouldn't be mad, and I'm talking about that if they don't get the job done against Washington, like you're undefeated all year.
It's all where you've been. It's all where you like.
But that's where you set the standard.
I've said all year, and I think you agree with me. The Dallas Cowboys need to get to the Super Bowl. Like, that's the success. Getting to the NFC title game is great. It's the first time in nearly 30 years, but they are the Dallas Cowboys. Why? They've been used to winning. Even though they haven't won in 3 decades, they've been used to winning Super Bowls. They're not going to be satisfied with just a Final Four. The Jacksonville Jaguars? Oh, great season if they get to the Final Four, so to speak. It's all where you're at. And Michigan, as great as they've been, has not been a school that wins national championships. They've been in the mix, top 5, top 10, and Harbaugh's gotten them back there. Now, Rob, I agree. If they don't win it, it'll be a disappointment. You're number 1. You're supposed to win this year. I get all that. But to me, Harbaugh has done the job. And if after this season he doesn't win the championship, but he goes to the NFL, I will say, you know what? He did the job. He didn't get the championship, but he got Michigan as far as they've ever been. He brought them back to relevance. They weren't used to finishing in the top 15 for like 10 years, roughly 15 years before he got there. Now they're one of the top 5 programs in the country. So what I do think, Rob, is he may want to be a guy that, like Larry Brown, right? Win a national championship and go to the NFL and win the Super Bowl. for that, yeah, obviously that'd be great. You want to do that, but I just don't think I wouldn't say he failed at Michigan if he doesn't win this national championship. All right, let's see what you guys think. 877-99 on Fox, 877-996-6369. Does Jim Harbaugh have to win this championship to complete the job, so to speak?
All right, let's kick it off with Gary in Houston. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Gary?
Yeah, so I just think, Rob, you're vastly overrating the Michigan program. Think about this. Ohio State under Urban Meyer, in terms of winning games per season, achieved at a higher clip than Michigan has in most of its history. So Harbaugh's brought Michigan to exactly what they've always been. He's done the job. This is what it wanted to be.
Okay.
Yeah, Ohio State's been a better program.
I just think when you're at this point and you get here, to me, to finish the job is to make Michigan to do something that no one has done before, which is win them outright a national championship. And I don't know why people don't expect him to be one of the best coaches in college football to get that done.
I don't know that people aren't expecting it. I just think people feel like me, in my case, I just feel like he's already completed the job. And if you want him to win it, of course. But I wouldn't say he's failed at I guess that's where I'm at. I don't think he's failed at Michigan if he doesn't win this game next year.
I think it's a failure if they don't win the national championship. And if he bounces and that's all they got from Jim Harbaugh being there and being 13-0, what are they, 13 or 14-0 this year and have
back
this
to
team
being a top 5 program in the country, that's pretty good.
I don't think that's enough. Carl in Mobile, Alabama, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio.
Hey, guys, how y'all doing? Happy New Year to everybody there, crew and staff. Hope y'all all doing great.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. We're great. Happy New Year to you.
Yes, sir. Hey, I want to tell you as somebody that lives in a state where a national championship not being in conversation is not acceptable. Here, people saw what happened last night as a complete failure. Okay, even though they still love the team, to them, if you don't win a national championship,
where are you at?
Matter. Alabama. Okay.
Oh, of course. Yeah, okay. Alabama. Anytime you don't win the championship is a failure.
And
that's different.
Believe me. And I'm going to tell you something else. My brother lived in Dallas. He said when Dallas lost the football game, the entire city had a bad attitude. And I'll use Dallas for the Cowboys. When they lost, people were sullen and nasty everywhere.
Did we lose him?
No, we got him right.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah,
okay, go ahead.
So I'm saying Harbaugh needs to win, but not the fans for himself. You remember he got a pay cut and mistreated by the Michigan University. They made him take a pay cut. If somebody made you take a pay cut, don't you want to come back and rub it in their face and say, here's your national championship since you didn't think I'm not good enough?
I'm sure they'll take that rubbing in the face. No, I mean, I think what you do is you win the national championship and you say, give me my money back and then some. I want what I lost and, on top of that for this next contract. So, yeah, I think there's that. But, all right.
All right, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Jerome in Charleston, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What up, Jerome? Happy New Year.
Same to you, too. Hey, Chris Broussard, with all due respect, with all he put this program through, with all he put these players through, with all the risks, everybody does it, and the due process talk I heard, if he walks out that door, and there's a pretty good chance he might do it, it better well be with a damn national championship trophy.
What did he put the players through? What does he put the players through? Getting to 3 straight football playoffs?
He got himself suspended. They had to coach one of the biggest games of the year without him.
They've been fine without him. They've been fine without him.
Yeah. And it could have gone the other way just as easy. He did this. Him. He's responsible for this. It better be with a national championship trophy.
I should have known Jerome was coming like this.
That's
Jerome,
right.
Jerome, me and you, we cut from the same cloth. It's about winning the championship.
Yeah, all right.
Everything else is secondary. Those are losers who
So I
just
guess
want
the
you to get
whole
to the
Michigan
just
program
want you to get
has
there.
always
Yeah.
been losers.
Yes,
All
they
right,
are
so then
losers
he's
because
brought
they don't
them
want to
back.
win. That
So
they
he's
don't
brought
want to
them back.
win, or
First
they
of
don't
all,
hold their
they-
coach.
you saying
they don't
they
hold
like
their
you
coach
talk to every
to
fan.
wanting to win. I didn't say
You
I
don't
talked
know
to.
they.
But I talked.
You talked to a
I
dozen
worked there
people.
for
I mean,
20
what-
years, Chris. I'm just trying
They
to
weren't
tell
on
you.
this level then. though.
No, but they
That's the
never.
thing, he's gotten them
I
back
worked there 20 years, did radio about Michigan and the Wolverines, and I'm telling you, all they care about is beating Ohio State, not getting embarrassed to Michigan State, and not about winning a championship. That's sad to me. That's all.